The Pine Valley Homeowners Association is here to protect the land whether you like it or not. That was the threat they threw at me, and it still echoes in my head like some bad joke. I remember the day so clearly it's burned into my mind, when he was screaming my name, and I burst out the door just in time to watch two bulldozers chewing through everything my family had built, dust flying, boards cracking, paint chips spinning in the air. And for what? A $5,000 fine I never even saw coming. I'll tell you right now, I'm not the kind of guy to pick a fight with the world, but there I was, alone, confused, and suddenly enemy number one on my own land. They say everyone's got a breaking point. That morning was mine. You ever get jolted awake by something so wrong it takes a second to believe it's real? Diesel engines roaring at 7 a.m., glass rattling on the windows, the smell of exhaust creeping into my dreams. I remember thinking it must be county workers patching the road, but then I looked out, two bulldozers, tearing up the deck my grandfather built with his own hands. Some woman in a neon vest, silver hair knotted tight, barking orders like she owned the whole damn mountain. My coffee cup slipped right out of my hand and shattered on the floor. That's the kind of day we're talking about. I bolted outside in yesterday's jeans, no shoes, no plan. I just ran, heart hammering in my chest, yelling at strangers swinging sledgehammers through my family's history. That old stone path, every slab hand-placed in 1947, gone in seconds. I was shouting so loud my voice cracked. That's when the woman, Wendy Parker, finally turned to face me, badge around her neck, clipboard in her fist, eyes hard but a little haunted if you looked close enough. "Marcus Thompson, Pine Valley HOA Enforcement," she said, like it was supposed to mean something to me. "You ever get that sinking feeling, like you're the last one in on a bad joke?" I told her straight. I never signed up for any association. What the hell are you people doing? She didn't flinch, just rattled off some legal mumbo-jumbo about preserving alpine ecological integrity, $5,000 in unpaid fines, state law, authorized enforcement. She said it so confidently that for a second I almost believed maybe I'd lost my mind. Maybe I missed a letter or signed something by accident. But then Tom came running. Tom Rodriguez. You know the type, old-school neighbor, flannel pajama pants under a winter coat, hair sticking up like he just wrestled a bear. His family's been here 40 years. "Marcus, what's going on?" They woke up half the ridge. He was just as lost as I was, but his face got pale when I told him about the fines. He said they'd hit his mom too, $800 for unauthorized flower boxes. She paid up because she was scared, and you could hear the shame in his voice. Next thing I know, a sheriff rolls in, Martinez, by the book, hands in pockets, scanning paperwork, apologizing for not being able to help. "I can't stop lawful enforcement without a court order, Mr. Thompson." By noon, my deck was a memory, the workshop a hole, 100-year-old oak tree's roots exposed, and the place looked like a war zone. 50 grand in damage, maybe more. But the thing that got me wasn't the money. It was Wendy's face. She wasn't some corporate robot. When she talked about the environment, you could feel she meant it, even if she was dead wrong about what she was doing. I spent the rest of the day calling every lawyer I could find. Most wanted money up front or said it'd take months, if not years, to get any justice. Finally, I called an old friend from my days in state politics, Carter Stone. The guy was tough as nails, chief legal counsel once upon a time. "Marcus, send me everything you've got. I'll drive up tomorrow with my team." That night, sitting on what was left of my deck, drinking beer from the bottle, Tom joined me. "My mom's terrified, Marcus. She's talking about selling and moving to Denver." The mountain was turning into a ghost town right before my eyes. It didn't take long for the paranoia to set in. I couldn't shake the feeling someone was watching. Couldn't sleep, barely ate. Next morning, Carter pulled up, legal pads in hand, and went through the paperwork. "Something's off," he said, and when a guy like Carter says that, you listen. 30 minutes later, Tom's daughter Sarah showed up, fresh from Denver, a property rights attorney, sharp as a tack, not afraid of a fight. She'd been tracking similar scams statewide. "You're not alone," she told me. "They've been hitting families just like yours. Always the old-timers. Always the ones too proud or scared to talk to each other." We laid everything out on my kitchen table. Fake board members, phony violation procedures, signatures from people who didn't even exist. The kicker? Sarah traced payments from the HOA to Pinnacle Development Corporation, a shadowy outfit gobbling up land across Colorado. using fake fines and psychological pressure. Wendy and her crew weren't just HOA zealots. They were pawns, and some of them didn't even realize it. That afternoon, I drove over to Wendy's place. Her cabin was full of forestry books and family photos, her dad in a ranger's uniform. You could see where her convictions came from. She wasn't evil, just scared and manipulated. She told me, almost pleading, "I thought I was protecting the land from developers. David said you were all planning luxury resorts." She showed me blueprints and environmental impact reports, but I could tell they were fakes. Someone had used her, twisted her love for the mountains against the very people who belonged here. That night, Rosa Rodriguez, Tom's mom, invited the whole ridge for chili and stories. 7 families showed up, each with their own horror stories. It was only then we realized this wasn't personal. It was systematic. Sarah said, "They count on us being too scared or too proud to talk." So we formed a coalition right there. No big speeches, just tired people ready to fight back. Then came the twist. Carter got an anonymous tip about secret meetings at an old storage facility down the mountain. Said there was proof of everything, bank numbers, the whole plot. Next afternoon, we snuck out with binoculars and cameras, hiding in the trees like a bad spy movie. At 2 p.m. sharp, Wendy's car rolled in, followed by a black BMW. Out stepped David Cross, slick, confident, dressed like a Patagonia ad, carrying a briefcase that probably cost more than my first truck. We watched and recorded as David handed Wendy cash, blueprints, instructions, everything they needed to keep the harassment going. But then the bomb dropped. David called someone, Lieutenant Governor Martinez. Pine Valley acquisition is on schedule. Sarah and I just looked at each other. This wasn't just land theft. This was political. It went straight to the state house. They weren't just after my property. Rosa's garden, Tom's cabin, the whole ridge, every penalty, every scare tactic was planned, tested, documented. Psychological warfare for profit, targeting families who'd lived here longer than some towns had post offices. We caught it all on tape. The payments, the threats, the fake documents. Now we just had to decide what to do. I could have blown the whistle, called every TV station, played the hero. But the truth was, my past was just as messy as the present. I'd been governor, sure, but I'd come up here to escape all that, to try and find some peace. Yeah, that happened. I had to ask myself, was I fighting for justice or just revenge? Next day, we called a meeting in Rosa's backyard. Neighbors packed in, string lights twinkling, every face lined with fear and hope. I stood up and dropped the truth. I'm Marcus Thompson. 6 months ago, I was your state governor. It went dead silent. Then Tom cracked a nervous laugh. You telling me the guy fixing fences and grilling brats is the ex-governor? And just like that, the whole story changed. It wasn't just Pine Valley against some fake HOA. It was us against the whole crooked system. When he stepped forward, shaking, voice barely above a whisper. David Cross paid me $3,000 a month to coordinate the harassment. I thought I was saving the land. Turns out I was just helping steal it. Some neighbors yelled, some cried. But I said, she's not the enemy. She's proof that they use good people to do bad things. Now she's going to help us bring them down. Carter Stone, now State Attorney General, rolled in with his team, blue lights flashing. Based on evidence provided by Governor Thompson, we are filing federal charges tonight. And just like that, it was on the news, the story of rural America, fighting off fake environmentalism, land grabs, political corruption, all of it. I'd love to tell you it ended there. But the deeper we dug, the more we realized this was just the tip of the iceberg. Mountain Vista Corporation wasn't about hotels or golf courses. They were buying up water rights, farmland, everything with value in a climate crisis. Pine Valley sat on an aquifer that could supply half the state if droughts got worse, and that's what they wanted. It became clear, this was climate profiteering, and it wasn't just happening here. Mountain communities all over the West were under attack, targeted for their future survival value. We connected with others, built a network, shared strategies, legal help. When he founded Environmental Justice Watch, helping folks spot fake grassroots campaigns before it was too late. We got new laws passed, protected water rights, and made Pine Valley a model for how to fight back. But it still keeps me up sometimes. After all the news vans left, after the lawyers went home, after the settlement checks rebuilt what we lost, I'd walk my land and wonder if it was enough. If we were just buying time, if the next storm would bring something even bigger, meaner, smarter. That's the real cost of justice. You never really win, you just keep fighting. Now, if you've made it this far, I want to hear from you. What would you do if everything you loved was threatened by people with more money and power than you could ever imagine? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think communities can stand up to corporations? Or is it all just a losing game? That's the conversation we need to have. And if you're dealing with anything like this in your hometown, know that you're not alone. There's always another side to the story, and sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys get the last word.